Are you listening? Are you watching? You know what it is, not just boxing. From the canvas to the madness, sit down and get yourself locked in. Are you listening? Are you watching? You know what it is, not just boxing. From the canvas to the madness, sit down and get yourself locked in.
You've been following quite a few fighters around for a few years, obviously, the boys that you've coached. What has been the best venue that you've been to? What's been the best atmosphere and the best win as part of the team?
Best win? Pro or amateur?
Both.
Amateur, Moses Atalma, World Youths. I spoke about it before, he's actually ill for the whole thing. And then when he won it, the atmosphere in the semi-final was like unbelievable. And, you know, he is who he is, like with his boxing ability as well. So that is definitely the best amateur win. Pro, probably, I think Sam's British title was special because the Longsdale belt and being with him since like the start of his pro career as well and seeing him develop was pretty good. So that was quite emphatic. And then when Martin McDonough knocked out Conor Marsden, that was great because he's such a nice guy, Martin. I don't think he's doing boxing anymore, but...
Yeah. Have you spoke to him recently?
Yeah, I still keep in contact with him.
How's
Such a nice guy. Yeah, I think he's just working and doing whatever.
Is he coaching still?
I don't think so. I think he's working with his family now. I think he's doing a bit of scaffolding or whatever, but good guy, Martin. I was really happy that he got that. It was a good night, but I'd probably say Sam's British title for me. That was good.
Nice. Well, the gym is flying here. Thanks for having us down.
That's right.
I really appreciate it. And I'm not even saying that because like we're on cameras. Like it is actually, if people could see just the atmosphere, it like here, just like everyone bouncing off each other, everyone's still putting the work in. Like the team that you've got as well. People say iron sharps iron. Like you've got some of the best prospects in England all in one spot.
Yes, as you've seen today, the atmosphere in there is electric as such, and you know I'm massive on that. Like environment's so important. Like if you're enjoying coming in and it's a hard working environment and you're enjoying it, it's a dangerous recipe. I remember Brendan Ingalls saying, like watched a few of these clips. You know you've got to have a happy, fun environment when you're training. It's so true.
Right, so I've got some Q&A questions I'm going to fire at you.
Let's go.
So what exercises do you think boxers should do regularly?
Very hard question just to say straight down the line because I believe you should just coach the individual. But I know we're talking hypothetically here. Squats is such an underrated exercise. We said in the podcast before, you know, a lot of coaches don't do legs, it'll slow you down, it's a load of rubbish. So squats is definitely an underrated exercise.
Arse to grass for boxers?
Yeah,
or
the longer range of movement, the better for me. I don't like all this in rack stuff, short squats, don't agree with it. So that would be one. Am I listing a few off? Or?
Yeah, go for it, yeah. And just to make it clear, you mean like heavy squats, working your way up to at different times?
Not max out. I like them, say, like pumping a little bit, not like really slow. Like I say, it's hard. It depends on the individual, but we just say squats, for instance.
Okay, great. What exercises should boxers not be doing? Is there anything?
Calisthenics. Don't do calisthenics. Shortens everything, slows you down. I don't like any body weight stuff at all. What other ones? Dips is like probably the worst exercise for boxers.
Why?
Because you're loading your shoulders this way and then you're throwing this way. Everyone that's ever done dips, and I've told them not naming two names, but they come here injured. And the satisfaction I got of being right was unbelievable, as you can imagine. But yeah, calisthenics, I don't let any of the boys and girls do.
And how heavy should a fighter lift as they approach a fight? Because clearly there's going to be times when pre-camp you're going to want to...
It's just, once again, depends on the individual, depends what you're working on.
In terms of percentages of their like 1 rep max?
So it's funny, like when I look at fighters before I take them on or I'm taking them on, if they're naturally quite fast and quick, then I do a lot more strength stuff with them. If they're a lot sort of slower and clunky, I do a lot more speed stuff because I'm trying to get in that middle. So if someone's really fast, then I work on the strength to try and get that power in the middle. But if they're really slow, I'm trying to work on that speed to get them in that gauge. So it does depend, but like lifting heavy is good for boxing. Strengthens your ligaments, strengthens your tendons, strengthens all your muscles. Like I say, boxing is still in the dark ages, and a lot of strength and conditioning coaches I see now, they just train every boxer the same way. The same myth about don't do deadlifts. We would do deadlifts all the time for 6 years, no injuries. So, it's as long as your technique's correct and you've got in good coaching, everything's got a place for everything, depending on the time and the individual.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of plyometrics, do you think that should be in every session for fighters? Or
amateurs, maybe. Mm-hmm. Pros, I only like doing it towards the end. Mm-hmm. But once again, if it's a fighter that I think is quite clunky and slow, we'd do it a lot further out. So, but usually I like hitting it about 3.5 weeks out in that region. But obviously on the individual.
How long and how often should fighters stretch and do mobility?
Every single day. They should have a pre-boxing routine, pre-strength conditioning routine. Everyone stretches after sessions in here. Everyone should stretch after boxing sessions. But stretching correctly, doing mobility correctly is something that I think is the biggest weakness for all boxers. Mm-hmm. And I'm quite strong on pre-fight routines, pre-boxing routines. I think they're really important to activate muscles, and you're not doing it just to activate. It's a lot of prevention stuff in there as well if you're doing it correctly.
My name is Dennis McCann, professional boxer for Frank Moore and MTK Global. This is Fortress Boxing. A lot more protection. It's a no-brainer around your thumbs, around your knuckles, around my wrist. That's exactly where I have the problems at. They're very compact, so I feel like I'm punching hard with them on as well. And I feel like when you got sparring 14, 16 ounce gloves, the smaller wraps can't really. They're too small for the gloves. That makes sense. So these are a bit bigger, and they're getting the gloves a bit more. They're making them more compact. 1, 2, hook, go.
How do you get that extra bit out of fighters in the toughest part of their camps? Do you add surprise things at the end of the sessions?
Yeah,
do you trick them?
Everyone watching that I coach will know I quite like in circuits, just being like, and once again, I do the circuit I put their weaknesses at the right points or whatever. And then I say, all right, just 3 rounds done. And they're like, we're going to do one more. Like when they've done that, and they go, we're going to do another one. So they don't know where the finishing line is. Mm-hmm. Plus as well, you get to know them so well. Like one of the people coming today, I was like, what's up with you today? I knew something was wrong because I speak to them a lot. I see them all the time. So I knew something was up. So you have that relationship with them. And I think it's just saying the right thing at the right time. They trust you so much. And, their boxing coaches, they trust so much as well because you're literally going into battle, aren't you? And the people around you have got to be good at what they're doing, otherwise you will get found out.
What do you say to the boxing experts who say fighters shouldn't lift heavy weights?
Well,
just like the post that we did recently.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, and what you do. You could do the best job in the world and be doing it all good. And there's always someone that, you're doing this, you're doing that. Some keyboard warrior on Instagram. To be honest, I don't really care. To be honest, I just look at the performance and the results of who I coach. I like to think I'm doing a good job. Well, I know I'm doing a good job. And I keep wanting to get better, keep wanting to improve, keep wanting to learn. And I think I'm evolving every year as well. And we're definitely moving forward. But I'm not too bothered, really. I know who I would ask questions with. I'm very lucky that, I've got a lot of good coaches that I know around me that I can ask questions to if I need to. But I'm not too bothered about the keyboard warriors or anything like that because, go back to say even Moses. oh, he lifts too much. He's the fastest heavyweight in the world. Like his footwork, his hands, he's smashing weights all the time. And it's just doing it correctly, knowing when to do it, when not to do it. And like just mimicking it in, just slowly but surely making small improvements. So I ain't too bothered.
Nice. And what are the traits of a good athlete? What's like the ideal person that you want to train?
Henry Turner. Perfection as an athlete.
Why?
I just think he does everything right. Everything right. I'm lucky there's a few in here that are really spot on. Sam wouldn't be far off as well, being perfection. Moses, he'd probably be near on there. And there's a lot
of
more.
Those traits? Why is he so good?
That every single session is fully focused and fully digging out. When you go to the gym sometimes you don't want to be there, but you're training here. It's just forever here. And then the diet, the sleep, the little disciplines, don't...
You can trust them out of the gym.
Yeah, you just sort of, the professionalism element of it all. But I think, to your question, I think it's the right attitude as well. Even, for instance, Sky, who's in here now, obviously she's a world champion anyway. I love her desire to be the best. She wants to fight the best. She wants to be the strongest. She just has that drive where she's a world champion, but she's not even satisfied. That's crazy. Some people get there and then they're like, oh, that's me.
Yeah, foot off the gas.
She's like, she's like, she couldn't care about it too much. She's wanting to push. So I love that element of it. But
I like how grounded everyone is here as well. There's no one that thinks they're too big for what they already are. Everyone's here to better themselves still.
Yeah, we wouldn't have it though. Soon they wouldn't be welcome here. I like to think everyone that trains here gets on. If they don't, they have respect for one another. Everyone can train with everyone here as well, depending on what's going on. So,
because there's a lot of gyms where you have to manage egos, and that's a serious thing. Whereas here, you don't really see that at all.
No, I don't think we've ever had an argument or a disagreement in here. They can get competitive with weights and circuits and whatever because you're not punching someone either. A bit different if you're sparring, but everyone here is grounded, get on, normal. I mean, you got some people that are really high in the boxing world now, be it Sam, Sky, Moses, they're really elevating up. But just normal, really normal people. I don't think it'd change them in the slightest.
Yeah. So my last question, for all the young people out there that are, maybe 10, 11, they're looking up to wanting to be a boxer, they're looking at their role models, what would you say to them in terms of training that they should be doing? Is there any adding to their regime? Should they maybe be, running a certain amount? Is there anything that you would advise them early so they don't have to do it later on in their career?
Stretching, definitely. Find a boxing coach and trust them 100%. I think the boxing world is someone loses and it's everyone's fault but them. I don't think a lot of boxers take accountability for, losses. So find a boxing coach, stick with them. Find a strength and conditioning coach, stick with them. And just be consistent with training and routine. Don't drink, don't smoke, stay on a diet. It's pretty basic really, isn't it? So, but I mean, I'm no one to advise boxers, but just strength and conditioning wise, I suppose.
It's an absolute pleasure to have Gymfluencers on board as a sponsor for Season 5 of the Notjustboxing podcast. They've been supporting us since we were on 10,000 followers. If you have over 1,000 followers and you like to showcase your health and fitness journey, or if you're an up-and-coming boxer who likes making content, you can receive free products in return for just the story. You can also work on paid collabs where you set your own rates. They've worked with the likes of C4, Jimmy's Iced Coffee, and Skinny Food Co., and the list goes on. If you want to hit them up, use the code NJB to get started today. So is there anyone that you want to mention? Obviously, since we last spoke, your stable's like doubled pretty much. I don't know how you got enough time in the day. Did you want to list off some of the people that you're training right now? Because you've got quite a few good fighters.
I've got my little list there to keep up with it all.
Yeah.
So there's a girl who's actually been in for a couple of weeks, Ruth Huntley. She's just turned 18. She's turned pro. You saw her this morning.
Yeah, nice.
Really nice little girl. I don't know too much about her. I've actually never seen her fight. She's only been here for a bit, but she's athletically intelligent and she's moving forwards. Obviously Sky, she's a world champion. She's been here for maybe just about, she come here the week after her world title, so that was the start of April. So she's been here since mid-April. She's someone that, I really enjoy coaching her. I've never coached a female boxer before, and she's like a breath of fresh air to the gym. She listens, picks up stuff. And like I said to you, she's very ambitious, which I love that. So she's like great to come. I don't know if I spoke about Archie before, but Archie's kind of...
You didn't?
No, he's coming for a bit and he's not and whatever, but he's locked in here now. So
Archie Sharp.
Yeah, Archie Sharp. So he's fighting again in July, and then he's back with Frank now, so he's pushing on. So I'm sure he's gonna get very up there very quickly. He's very talented.
Who's he fighting? Is it Ryan Garner?
I don't know yet.
Okay, am I allowed to say that? I don't know. Well, it might not.
I think it's in the pipeline, but I don't know if it's been signed. But yeah, I think he's fighting him. So
it'd be a great fight.
Big fight, yeah, big fight. So Campbell Atten as well. He's been in there for about a month now. Really nice kid. Like, looks exactly like his old man, doesn't he? But he's made a big move, moving down with Barry Smith at Ben Davison's gym. Come down here. I think he kind of wanted to do his own thing a little bit and move down south and focus on his boxing, but his attitude's in the right place. He's picked up what we do quite quick. He's quite invested in it already. And he's a really nice lad, so I think he's going to do really well. I think he's got a lot of easy improvements, so I'm looking forward to see where he is in 6 months, a year's time. I think he'll really improve. Then Jack Salisbury, he's with Mickey Burke and Sean, obviously over there. So he's just turned pro. He's going to have his debut probably this summer. I used to coach him. He's an amateur. He's such a nice lad. Trains really hard. He hasn't got the same sort of amateur background as the other boys, like decent amateur record, but I like how he's kind of... I think he knows that, and he's really focused with Mick and coming here, and he trains really hard and he's really focused, and I think he will be the 100% best version of himself because he knows he's got to really knuckle down. But I'm really excited about him. He's a nice lad. Phone's gone off now.
What gym did Jack come from?
Westtree.
Amateur.
Westtree, and then he was with Kaylee over, I think it's called Counterpunch, I think, ABC. Lely.
Oh, is that the guy who saw
Yeah, Lely,
yeah.
So he's in iBox with all the other boys.
Yeah.
It's his first session this morning.
Is that his first session? Nice. How'd he do?
Yeah, it's like, it's quite not... I like it when someone comes in, like, same with Sky when she come in. There's so many things I'm like, oh, have you not done this? And I can see, like, I get excited because I'm like, oh, I've only got to do this, this and this, and you're going to improve loads. So he's 19, he's 4-0 with Matchroom.
He looks older than 19.
He's a big old boy, and Sam's, he's got a brilliant jab. I think he jabbed Sam's face off in sparring.
Nice.
Yeah, so he started. Who else we got? Oh yeah, Freddie Wilkins. Fred's he's probably one of my favourites, I can't lie.
Why's that?
He's just such a nice lad. He gets a bit of stick as well when he comes in. He's an amateur at Repton, trains at Tony Sims's gym as well, does a bit of sparring over there. He can seriously fight. He's very talented. He's going to be one that's going to do the ABA. He's probably win them and flip. Like, he's very good. But he comes, I really enjoy coaching him. He's in actually after this. But he gets a lot of stick, bless him, when he comes in. We actually wound him right up. I said to Tony Sims, I was like, Fred keeps saying you've got a really nice smile. Fred was like, why have you said that? They think I'm a weirdo. They think I'm a weirdo. When we see him in Saudi with Moses last week. So, yeah.
Season 5 of the Not Just Boxing podcast is proudly sponsored by My Meal Prep. My Meal Prep have made it easy for you to stick to your diet goals as well as eating delicious, tasty, homegrown food. Make sure to use the code NJB20 to get 20% off your first order today.
Charlie at the minute, because he's not had a fight for a while, he's, as like we know, start a boxing career is hard, so he's working at the minute. So he's like not coming in as much at the moment. But all the rest of them are here 2-3 times a week. So it's pretty busy. It's like I keep saying when I see my dad, I'm like, yeah, that's it, I've got enough now. But then someone comes and I'm like, oh yeah, go on, I'll coach them, and it just keeps growing. And as you saw today, it is a bit relentless in there at times. Mm-hmm. So, but I'm loving it. I'm loving the activity and fights coming out, and I like the challenge of it as well. I like the pressure now, because like I know that I've got to get it right all the time. And I think I spoke about it last time, like when someone's fights, it's just like relief is my first emotion. And then that night, I'm always thinking about, right, what am I going to do next time? Where's their improvements? How am I going to get better? I sort of like panic, but in a good way, about improving. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I want to stay ahead of the curve. And, I strongly believe that this gym now is, like, you could definitely say one of the top in Britain for strength and conditioning. Some of the lads might say in here it's the top one, but, I do believe that we're at that good level and we're doing a lot of stuff that no one else is doing. So hopefully,
Well, it's showing. It is showing big time.
Hopefully.
Yeah, well, I don't even know how you have that much time for everyone, to be honest. Yeah. It's I'm
like enslaved to it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, you're invested. Yeah. It's nice that you've got that progressive mindset.
Yeah, you got to get better. You can't, if you're ever comfortable, mm-hmm. Like I always say this for the weightlifters, I say if you're satisfied, that's when you she You should always want to strive for more and strive for more. And that's like what I was saying about Sky since she's been, I love like how she's just like, she forgets that she's a world champion. That was me, I'd be having the belt all the time, but yeah it's
you'd be out in all the clubs showing it off.
Strapped open. Yeah. But it's exciting times. Like this year there's some big fights for the boys and the girls. So just keep looking forward to that. I know July, I'm not going nowhere. I don't think there's any chance of a holiday for me. So there's shows every weekend, and Sky's fighting in Philadelphia, and then all the lads are fighting in the O2, and then the amateurs have got their like warm up. Is it Haringey in July? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just to go. But it's nice to be busy, mm-hmm. And even when I want it to not be busy, I get bored. So mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good.
Well, thank you for having us down.
No, it's a pleasure.
And we're definitely going to be here a few times anyway this season, so I appreciate it.
Yep, no worries, perfect. You should get Charlie's dad on.
Yeah?
Steve Ickford.
Yeah? Why is that?
He just loves it. It'd be really good on the interview.
All right, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, that's it. It's your time, Steve. He'd love that.